go ahead and get started. Thank you for all of you participants in the work ethic program. We have 325 students signed up this year. It's a great number to start with. Really excited to have you guys. Make sure you're checking your emails. I will email you communications. Did everyone hear me in the back? Here. Okay, I will be emailing you communications. After today's meeting, our first communication is going to be a student self-evaluation on your work ethic skills at this point that you feel. How many of you guys were in the program last year? You guys remember the paper copies? We're not doing that. I got a digital Google form, so I'll know exactly who's filling them out, who's turning it back in. I'm going to check it off by name. So after today's meeting, at some point later today, probably this afternoon, I'll be sending that out with the hopes of having it done by Friday, if not over the weekend. It takes a very short amount of time. It takes about maybe a minute to fill out. Fill out that Google form for me, please. And just the basis of where you think you rate on those work ethic skills that we're going to be working on, those 10 things that we're going to be working on. Now, between today, our meeting, next meeting will be next month in November, and then we'll have 2 more meetings in the spring that are still to be determined on dates. You will be essentially covering those work ethic skills from that sheet. So we're going to talk about it, we're going to bring in different speakers, and you're going to have a chance for them to get to tell you and show you how, in the future, these skills are going to apply to you when you start your careers, when you're at work. Make sure I'm not listening. Check Google Forms, check. Submit evaluations. Be honest about those evaluations. Volunteer hours. Some of you have already come up to me and asked about volunteer hours. I have sheets that all of you will be able to grab on your way out today. If you haven't grabbed one yet, 4 volunteer hours. I have them back there by the doors as we go out. They look like this. On the sheet itself, you would put the date that you did the work, the number of hours worked, who you did the work for, what you did for them specifically, and then whoever is in charge of that is going to print their name and sign it. And that's how you're going to keep track of our hours. So 12 hours is the target that we are all trying to get for that. Again, those forms will be available back there. If you don't grab a form today or you lose it, I'm in A1 or A531. Come see me whenever I can get you another copy of that form. C. Check emails for communication again. Again, that's how I'm going to communicate with you. There's 325 of us. It's going to be hard for me to just try to find all of you during the school day. It would be almost impossible for me. So mass communication, mass emails are how I'm going to do it. Now, some of you guys responded with questions for our speakers. Every time we have a speaker come in, they're going to present a little bit, but a lot of this time is going to be a Q&A session about your questions about those particular skills, how they would apply in situations. I got probably 20 to 30 questions back this time. In the future, I'd like to see everyone try to get at least 1 question. Right? I grouped those 30 questions into about 7 key questions today. So at the end, Mr. Claros will be answering those questions for you so you would know how those questions would affect from an employer standpoint, how they would interpret those questions, what you can do to help get those goals you had accomplished, or those scenarios accomplished. So without much further ado, all right, our first speaker today is going to be talking to you about honesty and working with others in the workplace. Again, he's been a business owner for 30 years plus, 40 years plus, and he's a great member of our community, and we're very lucky to have him be a part of our program, Mr. Will Claros.
Can you hear me? Everybody? Okay. How many of you have sat through a presentation I've given before in the past? How many of you have been through the thumbs demonstration? A couple of them. Okay, everybody's going to participate in this one before we get started. If everyone would, everybody stand up. First thing I want you to do is put 1 thumb up. Somebody volunteer. What does this mean? Good. Okay. 2 thumbs up. What does that mean? Okay. In the mathematical world, what mathematical sign is this? Multiplication. So follow me through. Here we go. 1 thumb up. Good. 2 thumbs up. Great. Multiply, this is where you have to get silly. Okay. You had to see that from up there, I guess. The bottom line, guys, is what I'm going to talk to you about today is business. But in your life, you have to recognize the fact, go ahead, sit down. You have to recognize the fact that anything that you're facing in your regular life, you have to learn to be able to laugh at yourself. So when you go thumbs up good, thumbs up better, multiply, you look like silly as heck, right? Guess what? When you do that and people laugh at you, that means they can't really laugh at you, they have to laugh with you because you're doing it yourself. So, to get started, we had what I would call business challenge this morning. You were supposed to have an overhead projector for a PowerPoint, didn't get here, and a microphone, didn't get here. But that's okay, because that's what working in the workplace is all about, adaptability. And learning these skills that you're going to be learning over these presentations by myself and other business owners. Today, we're here to talk about honesty, attitude, and teamwork. How many of you think those all three go together? Okay, by the time we get done, you'll realize that all three of those are integral parts of your work relationship. The skills, let me read them to you again real quickly. The work ethics you're going to be studying are show a positive attitude, follow directions, arrive to work on time, manage time effectively, have good hygiene, and dress well, work well with others, be honest and dependable, recognize problems and find solutions, apply good listening skills, and understand the need to pass a drug test. The last one I don't think is really a skill, it's more just a requirement of employment. But today we're going to talk about ACT, honesty, attitude, and teamwork. Now I'm a business owner, and I may feel differently about some of these things than other business owners. But to those owners who have signed on to the work ethic requirement, for those of you who aren't familiar, what that means is owners told the local work innovations group what they wanted from the employee, what kind of skills. And then they agreed that if they had an employee or people come in looking for job applications, they would consider, they would consider them more carefully if they had passed those or had learned those work ethic skills. So let's talk about the first one, honesty. When I look at honesty, to me, it is probably, even though I think attitude is important and being a team player is important, honesty is something that tells everything about your character. And in character, when you go to work for an employer, he presents an image to the public. And he expects that image to be consistent. So if you can't provide that image on a consistent basis because you're doing things like not returning phone calls, telling other workmates things that aren't true, whatever they may be, honesty is important. In fact, I found a good quote for that because I think honesty is very much the same as integrity. And integrity is choosing your thoughts and actions based on values rather than personal gain. I've been in business for 40, on my own, for 40, actually, let's see, 75, good Lord, 44 years. I actually got it wrong. And what, to me, has always been the most important virtue to me is that the people that I represent, the clients that we serve in our insurance business, know that they can come to us for honest answers, even if they're not what they want to hear, that we respond to them, which means we care about them, we're being honest with them. And they also like to see that when there's others we're working with, that we're honest with them.
Because if we're not, it's very likely that that employer is going to do his business someplace other, or that family, if we're doing personal insurance, is going to do their business elsewhere. So number one is honesty and integrity. If I were interviewing any of you, that is one of the things I would search out as number one. That's how important, and I think that's a consistent one with most employers. Number two, attitude. How many of you think attitude is important in your job? Good answer. It is important, and it's important because, again, you're the mirror image of my company. If I hire you today and you go to work tomorrow, the attitude that you show to my customers, to your other workmates, tells me a lot about how successful my company is going to be with you working with us. I have to know that when you have an issue that arises that maybe sets you off a little bit, and honestly speaking, I don't care who you are, there are things that bother you. You have to look when you're working for someone beyond those, and you have to be able to keep your attitude on a positive basis. I've got a little game I play with my grandkids. I've got 7 of them, 2 sets of twins and 3 singles. And whenever any one of them has a problem with something or they're showing kind of a negative attitude, I tell them it's time to bring out a crank. And they say, Papu. I'm Greek by descent, so we call Grandpa Papu. I said, come here, Leo. Leo comes over and he's kind of frowning because he's in a bad mood. And I say, the crank is coming out, and I take this imaginary crank on the side of his face, and I said, let me see that frown, and I do it myself. I said, now I'm going to crank this up. You're going to smile and be happy when we get done. Silly, right? I'm not afraid to laugh at myself. But that's what it's all about. You have to be able, for kids it's easy. They imagine it, they all of a sudden feel it. For adults, for young people like yourselves, it's a little more difficult because you're dealing with a number of things and maybe you haven't learned to adjust to them yet. But having a positive attitude is an image again of what your employer expects to be shown to the people that he represents. And it's that attitude that helps him grow and gives you the opportunity within that firm. I will tell you that the people that get promoted within our firm are people with great attitudes, and they're honest. So that brings us to number 3, which is teamwork. I am kind of an interesting hybrid. For about 35 years of my career, I operated a 3-person firm. All we did was consult with companies on their health insurance benefits, how to buy them and manage them. And roughly about 10 years ago, we merged with another company, and we grew from 3 employees to 26 employees and growing, and we're moving our offices to Maryland. So I went through teamwork with 3 people, which is pretty simple, not a lot of personalities to deal with. When we did the merger with the other company and we had some growth, I walked into the office one day, and now you have to imagine, I was in an office where with 3 people in a fairly large space, you had your own space. I walked in, and now with 26 total people, I felt like I was going to go home and just end the career and go on. I couldn't handle all these people. And yet today, it's working with the dynamics of 26 people operating together as a team, honest with one another, sharing positive attitudes when they need to help elevate their employees. Those are the kind of people I'm looking for. People who are honest, people who have positive attitudes, or can recover from something negative happening, and teamwork. Because as a team, what you do is you help one another through the rough spots, and you celebrate together with the positive spots. So in my world, I call that the tripod of success. And I think maybe those are three of the most important of the work ethics, although they're all important. Positive attitude, teamwork, and honesty and integrity. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Cochran.
Okay. So again, we have some questions here that are directly from you students that Mr. Guerreros will answer for us from the point of a business owner. So the first question, you guys hear me still in the back? Please. All right, so the first question is, if a problem comes up with a customer and the customer does not want this person to get their manager, what should they do?
Well, in that case, that's a difficult one for me to answer because typically our flow, and there is a business flow that is pretty much accepted everywhere, that is initial contact with the customer, is trying to resolve problems or engage the client in making a positive decision. If they're not happy with something, that normally would go to the supervisor, and then ultimately it might get to the owner. In business, you need to keep a track of action so that you don't have people at higher levels within the firm tied up on things that can be solved at a lower level. But that's one of the things we try to do in our office is train our staff people to be able to give answers, positive answers, and then if we have to, and sometimes they're not positive. In the insurance business, when you tell someone you're not going to cover something that they read the contract in a different way and thought it should have been covered, they're not happy. So you would, in that case, elevate them to the next level. And if it's bad enough, it may get to me, the owner. And if it does, I will tell you, I've had situations in the benefits end of it where we've had people that work for a company who a specific drug was not covered that had been covered under the old contract. We paid for it. We told them we'll do this for a period of 6 months till the renewal comes, but we paid for it. So we have action at every level. We just try to limit it to letting the staff and line people handle those up front.
All right, second question. You're working with a coworker who has a bad attitude, and you don't want to go around the coworker, like tell the boss, be a tattletale kind of thing. What's the best way to make that coworker realize that your attitude is going to bring it down to the
Boy, you have some great questions here. I'll tell you what makes some of these difficult is we are blessed with having a group of people who are positive, so we don't face a lot of that. They're engaged in their work, and if I can make a recommendation, when you're being interviewed for work, you should be interviewing the employer you're working with as well as far as the workplace. But to answer the question, if we have an employee who is not doing the work correct, the attitude is negative, I would want that passed on to somebody in management. And that's difficult because you don't want to go tattletaling on someone. So I would personally, not facing this often, and not at that level, I would go to the individual and say, hey, look, this is a great place to work. Do you know how lucky you are to be here? Now, I have to admit to you, there may be places where it is not a positive environment to be in, and there's every reason why that individual is that way. That's reality. But when you face that, I always want to help everyone. I think my call in life is try to better everybody. That's why I volunteer my time to come here and talk with you guys. Because to me, the more we can do to influence people around us, and in that case, it would be me trying to guide that person. Talk to the management. Talk to somebody about improving your skills and doing a better job.
Next question. What's the best way to raise your employer to move up in the company? So what can you do?
Okay, first of all, these work ethics are great. They're terrific. First thing you want to do is follow as many of them as you can. But number two, in fact, for some of those of you who are older that have been through the presentation, presentations I've made last year on going the extra mile. How many of you from last year heard that presentation? I will tell you, one of the most valuable tools I can give to anyone if you want the possibility, I can't give you guarantees, only you can do that by your actions. But if you're willing to go above and beyond what the employer asks you to do, see, he hires you for a job and an expected level of performance, and there's a pay rate that goes with that. So if you just do the job, you shouldn't expect to get a raise just to get a raise. It may happen because of inflation, depending on the kind of business you're in, but it's dependent upon what you do. So if you're the individual that goes above and beyond the call of duty, maybe you come in early every day and get extra work done, or stay a little late, or take on tasks others won't do. You're going the extra mile. You then fall under what I call the law of increasing returns. You're doing more, the likelihood is that you're going to have the first opportunity to move up into that next position and get promotion and earn more money. It also does another thing. It puts you under the law of contrast. And the law of contrast says, if I'm doing a whole lot more than everybody else within my work group, I come across as different. People notice that as a difference. And that's actually a multiplier on the law of increasing returns. So if you want a better job and a promotion and to earn more money, not a guarantee, because it depends on the employer and their recognition of excellence. But the likelihood is far greater that you'll get that promotion by going above and beyond what your job description is. And I can tell you that for 40-some years, of which 40 of them have been sole proprietor or owner, but that's how I treat every customer that I have, and we don't lose customers because we go above and beyond the call of duty.
The last question for today will be, how can I deal with the negative boss?
How can I deal with a negative boss? Confrontation is difficult. It's something we're all shy away from. But I think there's two choices you have. One is put up with it and be miserable. Well, actually three. Two is to go and speak with that boss about things you notice, which is very difficult to do because you're typically at your age, you're looking at someone who may be 30 or 40 or 50, and you respect them, so it's difficult to do. And the last is look for a new job in a place where there's a more positive attitude. Because if it's an attitude by the boss that is consistently bad, unlikely that it's going to change. And if that were me, I would probably look, unless I absolutely financially needed it, I would look for a place that had a more positive environment.
Thank you, Mr. Claros, for being here today. All right, so that'll conclude our first talk for the year. Again, we'll have another one in November. The date hasn't been finalized yet, but it'll be sometime in the middle of the month. It'll be during advisory period again. So since this time period, we're going to use it. Don't take off yet. We'll wait for the bell still. I do have those volunteer hour forms, so if you want to grab one on your way out, please get one. I'll have them set up back there by the doors. If you already have one, great. If you guys have any questions, again, I'm in A531. Please stop by and see me whenever. Also, you can shoot me an email. Just reply to the email I sent you or conduct a new one. Again, thank you guys for coming out today. You guys have been great.